So I moved from the United States to Asia because dating as an Asian American was exhausting. And I guess I should really start off with who I am and my ideals and what I was really looking for. So back when I was young, my early 20s, I really thought I was going to get married, have children before I was 30 years old. But that didn't really happen. My parents and relatives would always say, "Oh, Kenneth, you're such a good guy. You're sure to find someone who really cares for you, and it will be very easy for you. You don't really need to try so hard." While that was very reassuring to hear, it wasn't really the reality of it. Because in order for me to really get attention in the US, I really had to put myself out there. I had to reach out to friends, family, introduce myself, social events, step into online dating as well. But it was just very tough for me being Asian American. Granted, it was easier when I first started like 11 years ago, back when I was 27. I didn't start really seriously dating until I was more established in my life and had a career. I didn't really feel like it was important for me to meet someone before that. But yeah, it was very tough for me to really get attention. And I noticed that the people who I was really forming like close connections and relationships with weren't born in the United States. And it was a very interesting trend that I observed. I was like, this is kind of strange. Like, I identify myself more as an American and not as Chinese. I'm Chinese American. But somehow I was forming closer bonds with people who weren't born in the US. And I really had to do a lot of searching and experience a lot of things for me to find out that there's a lot of things wrong with the dating culture in the United States. I found that many people there were superficial, and it was tough to really get past, their ideals of what they were looking for in a partner. Especially on dating apps, they've really rewired people, and especially social media, into what they believe they deserve, And to be honest, what a lot of people are looking for in a partner is not really idealistic. There's only so many people out there, and a lot of women believe that they can attract someone better than what they truly are capable of. And that's what I really observed through living in the United States for a while, is that while me being a great, successful guy as I am, look at my YouTube channel, of course, like almost 450,000 subscribers. I mean, back then I had like half of that, maybe a quarter of that, but it's still a lot of subscribers. It didn't really play into success in the romance and dating market as you might have expected. And for a long time, I was really feeling frustrated about myself. I was like, man, Ken, you're like such a popular guy. Like, why can't you really form a lasting connection with anybody, even though you've been on so many first dates, you've introduced yourself? And frequently I was really feeling myself in competition with, people I really shouldn't have been concerned about. I noticed that some of the people I was meeting, they would pass me over for a different type of guy, Maybe they perceive them as more successful or more accomplished. especially people who are white. Let's just face it, Western media really promotes a lot of, people who are white ethnicity. They perceive them to be more successful, and Asians, we really just get ignored for a good portion of our lives, even though we do have success, like a success in Western media or westernized media always shows us as like the nerdy type or martial artists, or like, someone like Confucius, philosopher, and we can't really hold our own or feel strong in society. But I knew those things were really working against me, and I didn't really let it get to me that much. I only could really improve on the things that I could control. So I did all those things. I was like, man, I know it's gonna be tough for me, but it shouldn't really be this tough. One of the clearest examples I can give you on how hard I really worked was during the COVID pandemic, when the world locked down. Actually, I was kind of frustrated more at the world at that time, because I really wanted to, find someone at that time, lead a productive life, settle down, but the world really kind of took that away from me. It really made people skittish to meet each other, as you know, and that took a good 3-4 years. I would say 3 years for sure. 4 years might be stretching a little bit off of my search for someone who I could be compatible with. And as we get older, we're not getting any more attractive. Well, maybe to some people, but it's statistically more probable that you'll be more attractive when you're younger. So there's that. And I was really feeling a close connection to people who were not born in the United States. I was forming a lot of long-lasting relationships and friendships from people who weren't born in the US. And I was like, wow, this is kind of strange. Like, there must be more into this. So I was really looking into it, and then I realized yeah, maybe American culture, US culture really isn't conducive to forming long-lasting marriages and raising families. And if you look at a lot of the statistics around the world, global birth rates are falling, marriages are falling, people are waiting longer to get married. I mean, the issues with it are kind of deep too. A lot of it has to do with the economy. People really can't afford to, get married, have children as much as they used to in the past. And let's be honest, a lot of it is the media too, social media, giving us false ideals, like I said before, on who we truly deserve, and in a way that programs us to never really settle. And that's good in a way, but also if you just do it too much, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to pick somebody, and at that point people would rather stay single, keep their peace. But that wasn't really me. I knew from an early time in my life that I would function much better in a relationship, a healthy one at that, not toxic relationship. And that's what I really needed in my life. So I tried extremely hard to, attract the type of person that I wanted to in the US, but it really didn't work out for me. I even signed up for 2 matchmaking agencies, and they couldn't really match me up either. And a lot of the women they were sending my way, they really had like unrealistic ideals, as I said. They didn't really like communicate well to me about what they really wanted in life. They kind of like indecisive, and I find that's really a shame here in the American culture, to have people who are really indecisive and can't choose what they want. And it makes me really sad and upset and frustrated, you know. I want to be with somebody who's very meaningful and not someone just because they're a person and they look pretty. So yeah, these two matchmaking agencies didn't help. Even though I consider myself to be a good person, I look nice, I'm clean, and I've been told that I look younger than I am too. But I noticed a dramatic change when I started traveling in Asia. I was getting a lot more attention from women, and people I wouldn't really think would approach me would. So I was like, wow, this must be something. Like, I realized that it wasn't so much an issue with me, it was an issue with the location and the culture where I was coming from, where I wasn't attracting the type of people that I wanted to. And even if I was over there, it was just much harder, because how many people, you know, are born outside the United States in the US who are young and ready to start, you know, a family, marriage and whatnot are there. You know, it's just much harder to find someone who I could really connect with. But when I came here to Asia, I was pleasantly like shocked. I was like, whoa, this is like so strange. But you know, I still had to, you know, do my due diligence and, you know, make sure that I was meeting the right person. You can't just like be with anybody who comes up to you and shows interest in you, or you show interest in them. You know, good relationships take time, they take effort. But life here in Asia has been very different than back in the US. I feel much happier now that I do have a serious love interest in my life. Even though, you know, New York, United States will always be my home. But the one thing that the US couldn't really offer me was, you know, romance. And that's really a shame, because I really enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, the more I spent time in the US, the more I tried the same things, different things, just to, you know, get attention in my romantic life. I was like, yeah, this isn't working. So I tried something different, and now it is. But I really hope you appreciate watching this video. I'm in a much better place now. If you enjoyed it, then hit that like button for me. Subscribe. I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.